Stabbing Brit here. I hope you can hear me. I'm testing out a new microphone arrangement. Let me just make sure. Apologies if there's any strange noises. There we are. We'll see how this works. So, welcome aboard the RMS O2 Carpathia. Shall we enjoy a quick swig? This is an Orca class passenger liner. See, very fetching. And we are currently, well actually we're currently idling at Pirameo QD-A C1729, which, if you're not familiar with the system, I don't blame you, it is kind of the arse end of nowhere. Dear Svult King Richard, how are you? And Happy New Year to you, and to you of course, Sarge. So, this is the contract that I picked up to take an expedition to Sagittarius A, which at present is about 20,000 light years away. I'm maybe a tiny bit hungover, having a hair of the dog. As you can see, I've made this is kind of where I normally hang out, and I've basically been spending hours and hours creeping through the galaxy. So let's just plot a random course, because every so often I basically have to abandon my current course and find a fueling star. There we go, there's a fuel star 6,000 light years away. Let's see how that works. How is the audio coming through, by the way? Because I'm not using my usual microphone. Everything correct volume? Well, here's hoping. Let's see. Oh, right, there's a fuel star up ahead. Excellent. Right, off we go.
Frameshift drive charging.
Marvellous. So yes, this particular exhibition, to give you an idea of how much of a chore this is, the contract has given me 4 weeks to complete it. That's 4 real side weeks. This is an Orca. It's my ship of choice for passenger missions. I do like it a great deal. Oh shit. Helps if I pay attention. Don't really want to crash into a star. Let's do a scan while we're here.
Frameshift drive charging.
It seems like I have run into yet another cluster of junk stars. No, to be honest, I haven't seen much of anything out here. It's been a very uneventful mission so far, and it's taken me quite a while to get this far, which was the main reason I decided to start up stream. Well, you never know. I am kind of regretting the fact I stripped out my landing craft. I did some weight reduction to the Carpathia before leaving dock to maximise jump distance. But of course it means now I don't have a buggy with which to explore planets once I arrive at my destination. Which is a shame.
4, 3, 2,
There's also a little bit of damage to the ship because I may or may not have accidentally flown into the gravity well of a star. I've only done it once, but I probably can't afford to do it all that often. Oh, there we go. The system's getting a little bit unreliable and doesn't always tell me how close I can get to a star. There it is. So we need to Slow down and fuel up. So, how hungover are you on a scale of 1 to 10? Because I didn't drink all that much, but I ate a lot of snack foods,
Complete.
and I have not been feeling too good because of it. Overeating has been my theme. Yikes. That sounds 7 out of 10, but isn't that basically a normal day for you? Oh, that's a thought. I did actually. I don't know why, because it's not like anyone's going to encounter my ship out here. But I did treat myself to a bit of a cosmetic paint job. So let's see if we can get the external camera working. There we are. Oh, hang on. It's not showing up very well. Let's just... swing the Carpathia up into the light. Oh, now that's just very, very pretty. Let's get free camera back. There we go. She's got racing lines. And I think I want to pull up and just get a nice picturesque shot with the Milky Way galaxy in the background. This would be a lot easier if I wasn't trying to fly with the camera. There we go. I will have to get that particular snapshot for my desktop background.
Frameship.
Ah, brilliant, fuel star. You know what? I've been watching that thing. I think it's a dust cloud or a nebula. Maybe I should take a detour. I could explore a nebula while I'm out here. Although, to be fair, my experience with nebulas is they don't look all that different from the inside, anyway.
Fuel scooping.
I'm honestly not sure why I decided to do this, because it doesn't seem like I'm going to get that big a reward. Hello, unnamed. How the devil are you? I'm embarking on expedition to the center of the galaxy.
Fuel scooping complete.
Yikes.
Frameship drive charging.
Okay, so I am not going to Fargoid if I encounter one. I think I'll just run away. Let's see. How far away? Oh, I can't check while in transit. I'm curious how far away I am from my destination now. Let's have a look. I'm not going to hit the star, am I? No. Okay. We'll scan first, and then we shall have a quick nosy. Line up. 180 jumps to the random place, but that's not... No, wait, hang on. Wrong thing. Better way of doing it. Absolute nonsense, I believe. Well, aliens mainly. Thargoids are aliens in this. We can set the course. We're actually in range. We can plot route to Sagittarius A. No, we can't. There we go. Yeah, the Thargoids, I imagine, are going to be a bit of a challenge. Hello, Captain. How the devil are you? And Happy New Year. So, this is a milestone. I've never actually been able to plot a route straight to Sagittarius A before. So we are within 20,000 light years, which is a hell of an achievement, frankly. Let's see if we can pull out of it. I think we're about a third of the way there now. Would you say? I'm going to call that a third. There is so much lag when trying to plot this course. It's going to be hell to actually get into this. Has it plotted a route yet? There we go. And oh, look at that, there's a fuel star right next to it as well. That's brilliant. Okay, let's see what happens.
Frameshift drive charging.
I'm probably going to... I don't know why I plotted all the way there, because I'm going to have to change course again. I think I'm in another T-class cluster. They seem to happen. The Hours of Solitude have been very educational in terms of how the galaxy is made up. There are apparently a lot of really crappy stars between the spiral arms. And then you hit a nice run of big stars which are good to fuel off, and you make excellent time, and then you just hit junk after junk after junk. Like this. We've got a brown dwarf, and we're probably going to hit 3 or 4 other brown dwarfs. On the way. I think that's going to be my last beer of the night because I've had more than enough alcohol over New Year. But apparently every single system is an anarchy system. Which, I'm not sure I agree with. It's not so much anarchy as the fact no fucker is here.
Frameshift drive.
Let's see. Another T-class. How far away do you think that nebula is? Right, I'm probably going to have to change course soon anyway. Because if I run out of fuel here, the nearest fuel ship is probably about 6 hours away. And I would feel really, really bad having to call the fuel rats and say, yeah guys, I'm about 10,000 light years away from civilization.
Frameshift drive charging.
Okay, let's abort. Oh, look at that, we're within 600 jumps of the centre of the galaxy. That's not bad at all. Hang on, right, last minute check of the course. That's a T-class. T-class. K-class, there we go. Do you know what? I don't think they would. Where was... Shit, I've lost the fuel star. Ah, there's one. They are actually surprisingly awesome with dealing with broken down people. Somebody ran out of fuel looking for the Voyager probe. And, they still came for him. It's cool. Why am I going to the centre of the galaxy? Well, there's a trophy for it. Second, why wouldn't you want to go to the centre of the galaxy? There's a supermassive black hole. And also, I'm carrying a passenger who wants to go there. So that's basically why I'm doing it. A passenger wants to go there. Veda Harel apparently wants to go there and collect data. You know, not going to argue.
4, 3, 2,
I might have to change course, because I'm a little bit curious as to what's in the nebula. Oh, I've discovered a couple of planets, not on this run, but on
View scooping.
other runs I have discovered entire systems where nobody else had been up until that point, which was fun. Disappointed I wasn't allowed to name the planets myself, but I have discovered star systems, which probably is one of my favourite things about this whole game. The idea that there is a shared universe. Am I going to overheat if I...
Temperature critical.
Yeah, I probably am. Just going to move to a higher orbit.
Fuel
There we go.
source disengaged.
No, I didn't want to do that. How far away are you? Screw it.
Frameshift drive charging.
We'll jump one more and then replot our course. Actually, we can scan the system while we're here, see if anybody else has been.
4, 3,
You'd think if we're 100,000 light years out, not 100,000, 10,000 light years out. Well, maybe, probably close to 7. But if you think with this far from civilization, you would expect the stars to be uncharted. But a lot of them have been. This is apparently a very popular route for explorers. Let's have a quick look. Move a bit closer so we can actually fuel up.
view scooping.
There we go. Scan the star. Right. Has anybody else... Have we scanned the system? Yes, we have. Has anyone else ever been here? The galaxy is... Oh, I've not finished scanning it. Wait, haven't I? Have I not scanned this star? We might have an undiscovered star on our hands. There's no data about it. It's not coming up as discovered. Yeah, I think I'm the first one here. Awesome. Can we scan any of the other stars while we're here? You're a bit far away. So yeah, how big is the galaxy? It's as big as the Milky Way. Oh, there we go. We can hit another one from here. It's absolutely fucking massive. Hopefully,
Complete.
there we go. Fuel scoop complete. So once I've scanned this star, I'm going to have to chart another route. Okay. Hopefully, I'll get the credit for those when I eventually return to civilization. Open galaxy map. So yes, from our current location, we are 19,000 light years from the centre. Is it actually plotting a route, or is it just ignoring me? There we go. I think the furthest known star system is somewhere out here. I'm pretty sure there is a star system somewhere about here. See if we can find it. There's one. That's 56, yeah, nearly 57,000 light years away. So, there we are. And if you want a sense of scale, my ship can do about 33 light years per jump. So yes, in theory, all of this can be explored. Absolutely all of it. And I'm pretty sure this is already a lot further than I've ever been. I've never been into this spiral arm before. Can't remember which one it is. Have we plotted a course? Well, yeah, you can travel to them all in theory. The only thing really stopping you from reaching them is time and whether or not you've got a big enough frame shift drive. I think the most distant system any player has discovered is Beagle's Point, which was on the far side of the galaxy, and I can't remember how long it took, but you essentially have to cross what they refer to as the Great Rift, or something along those lines. It's essentially a massive pocket of empty space on the far side of the galaxy, where there are very, very few stars, and most ships cannot jump between them. So you have to have a very specialised exploration vessel, otherwise you will have to make a detour of thousands of light years in order to go around the rift. It's pretty awesome, actually, as far as I'm concerned. Oh god, we're getting into junk stars again. Right, if I have to break off to fuel again, I might just chart a course for that nebula, because I've been watching it grow slowly, jump by jump. It's calling to me. Also, I have a turtle with me now. I'm not sure where it came from, but he's not a real turtle, he's stuffed, but he came home with us from a New Year party. So I have a mascot. Excellent, there we go. Fueling star. What could that be, anyway? It was, it's kind of gone now, but there was a sort of constellation of bright stars which I was flying toward for quite a lot. The soft science of the universe. You mean the frameshift drives? I'm not sure how the frameshift drives are supposed to work. They're definitely affected by gravity. The closer you are to an object, the slower your ship moves. Like at the moment, I'm doing about 0.3 the speed of light. Let's grab some. There we go. But as I start pulling away, that will climb up. I think the fastest I've ever gone in system is around 14,000 times the speed of light, or something insane like that. It's almost but not quite enough to make travelling between star systems reasonable. You can get between Alpha Centauri and Proxima Centauri under this kind of travel in about an hour. Thargoids are aliens. That's pretty much all I know about them. They are mysterious aliens, they are terrifying, and they do some really weird shit. I've been to one of their structures, which was interesting. It was huge and weird and alien. How big? We are probably talking... We're probably talking the size of an Imperial Star Destroyer at least. They dwarf any player ship in the game. They are the size of space stations. I mean, they are terrifyingly massive. I'm also not quite sure how this witch space thing is meant to work. But this wonderful effect around us is referred to as witch space, for reasons known only to witch space itself. it's a junk run.
Frameshift drive charging.
Right, we appear to have another bad run. If the next star isn't fuelable, I'm going to have to change course again. And honestly, I'm sick of having to do this. Like every couple of jumps I'm having to change course. You would think there would be more useful stars than there are. Oh, that's a lonely star.
Frameshift drive charging.
Okay, that's no good. Ah, okay, there's a fuel star on my current course. Carrying on.
Frameshift drive charging.
I do think that looks kind of sinister. Just this weird black blob with a sort of a constellation in it, though, like a
4, 3, 2,
like a pyramid.
1.
You can discover habitable planets, but you can't actually land on them. You can only land on uninhabitable planets, which I realise makes very little sense, but there we go. I'm not sure, but I think you can actually land on the moon if you have access to Sol. Now, if I line up like this, does anyone else think that looks like a pyramid? That is a pyramid nebula.
Frameshift drive charging.
There we go, G-class. So we can fuel up and maybe do a detour. I would quite like to visit the pyramid.
4, 3, 2, 1.
And this very foolish space adventure is going to take me days and days to complete, I just know it. But I want to get a good stretch of the way there. Whoa! Why am I so far from a star? Right, this calls for an emergency stop. Right, we have 38 objects here. Let's have a look. Okay, so we appear to have run into a discovered system. This looks like some kind of binary star system. Intriguing. Let's scan it. Yeah, we've got a binary sun. Awesome. I'm going to take a moment to scan this. Having trouble there. Don't blame me, blame the New Year's drinking. Yeah, this is weird. You don't normally come out of jump this far from a star. So, apparently the binary star system has created a weird center of gravity that's actually quite far from either of the stars. There we go. I'm going to scan this one for its data. This is the other big reason to do this, to be honest, because there's so many star systems. Even if you're just doing a passive scan, which I do every time I visit a system, when I get back to civilization, I will have so much data. It will be worth an absolute fortune. So let's see if... Let's see if that other star's been catalogued yet. Nope. Apparently, Flyode blah 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 has not been catalogued, nor have any of the planets. He's basically just scanned one star, one planet and buggered off. But, you know, I've already claimed astronomical, forgotten the word, objects. I've already claimed
Fuel scoop
big
complete.
floating objects in space as my own, and so I'm quite happy to let other people scan them
Frameshift drive charging.
and claim the bounties for themselves. I think I'm going to overheat. Yeah, let's abort that.
Frameshift drive charging.
Back we go. I can't remember when I started this madness. I don't even know why. I think I'm doing this just so that I can say I have, that I can be one of the insane players of Elite Dangerous who have been to the centre of the universe. The record for getting there is apparently 7 to 8 hours. Yeah, because fuck it.
Frameshift drive charging.
I could be doing something far more entertaining. I could be shooting people on Battlefield, but no, I've decided to do this.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Exactly, it's all bragging rights, isn't it? Well, yes. If unlike me, if you're not a crazy person and you actually stay within civilization, you can act as a merchant, you can act as a passenger liner, you can act as a bounty hunter, you can sign up and fight in an intergalactic war if you want to. It's basically a sandbox. Like, well, if you want to go the combat route, you can basically, as I say, you can either sign up for the Galactic War, or you can just act as a bounty hunter. You track people down, blow them up, claim bounty for doing so, potentially loot their cargo. Yeah, Space Trucker is very common. Space Trucker is quite fun. Space Passenger Liner is very similar. That's indirectly why I'm going to the center of the galaxy, because passengers will pay you to take them to places. Actually, one of the reasons I quite like the passenger jobs rather than just hauling cargo is
Temperature critical.
passengers tend to want to go to places that have some link to the setting's background.
Fuel scoop complete.
So you might go to a tourist destination and there'll be a beacon you can scan, and the beacon will give you some information about the setting itself. I just thought, do I still have... What the hell is all this? These are people I've run into, apparently. That's not what I was looking for. No. Damn it. Apparently I don't have the audio logs anymore. Oh, there we go. Like this. This is some information I obtained from a tourist stop. There you go. You'll be able to pause and read that at your leisure.
Frameshift drive charging.
No, she's definitely on board. No idea where to cash these in, but apparently I have bounties.
1.
I haven't been paid for. One thing I want to find again, I don't have the logs anymore, they've expired, but I found, what were they called? I think they're called arc ships. They're basically ancient sub-light colony ships that were fired out into the galaxy, and I found one in orbit around a pulsar, which was awesome. There's this massive, it was a huge ship, it's like almost as big as a space station, obviously a generational vessel, and you could download the final logs of the crew, audio logs explaining how the ship had come to be there. It seems every single colony ship in the game has met some awful fate or another. There was the one I found essentially couldn't slow down. The engines had failed, and so they swung past a habitable planet as close as they could, fired everybody off, and one guy stayed behind to make sure everyone else got away. And then somehow the ship came to a halt. And once again, we are in the sucky side of space. I think it's a really good way to tell a narrative, though. The idea that there is a story to this game, but you have to get off your arse and find it. The game isn't going to hand it to you. It also means that if you don't care about the story, you can just ignore it. I mean, I have to be honest, I didn't really pay a lot of attention to the factions early on. I don't know. I don't actually... I did try and find out what planet this ship passed when it kind of dumped its cargo. Wasn't able to do so. So I have no idea what planet these people were dropped on. They might well have all just died anyway, which would have been quite harsh. What am I looking for? I'm looking for something, I don't know what. I would love... Oh, there are lots of inhabited planets, you just can't actually visit them. The best you can do is dock in an orbital station. There are also a couple of planets with surface colonies. The planets themselves aren't inhabitable, but they essentially build space stations on the surface. For reasons known only to themselves. Fuel star. Can we actually reach that? Well, okay, the navigational computer thinks we can reach it. Who am I to argue with the navigational computer? Also, is it just me, or is this, like, bloom on the horizon getting much, much bigger?
4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh, I do hope they let you visit habited planets. I mean, I can actually understand them not letting you land on any of the planets in the Sol system, because you could argue, well, these are this is the cradle of mankind, and we're not going to let a bunch of tourists wreck it, or it's the seat of the galactic government. You don't have access. But it would be pretty cool to be able to actually go down to a planet with trees and plants and water, as opposed to just an airless rock where you drive around and there really isn't anything there except for maybe one outpost. I think the most populated planet I've ever seen. I think it was something like four outposts dotted around it, and it would take about 12 hours real time to drive to them on the surface, or about 5 minutes to fly.
Frameshift drive charged.
Oh, thank God. The computer wasn't lying, because we are now running on vapors. This is an essential refuel.
4, 3, 2, 1.
This is the challenge of deep space exploration. The fact that you will get in trouble, and there is nobody to help you. There's no pirates out here though, which is nice, because why the fuck would there be pirates?
View scooping.
I think it's a flaw of other games where they're a bit too prone to throwing things at you. I mean, you can probably cross the entirety of human space in this game in about 30-40 minutes, if that. Probably quicker, actually. But it's sort of it really shouldn't make sense to have pirates out here. I mean, who the hell would they pirate? Shit! Oh, god damn it. We fell into the start. Whoops. Right, let's gonna have to wait for the system to cool down now. There was supposed to be an indicator telling me how close I was to the star, and it didn't show up. I'm not happy about that. This is the second star on this route I've fallen into.
Frameshift drive charged.
Right, let's get back up to
4, 3,
yes,
1.
I fell into the star.
View scooping.
If you get too close to a star, you're... Yeah, if you get too close to a star, your ship will perform an emergency stop to prevent you from being crushed into hydrogen helium atoms. And that helpful green line tells you how close you can get. But it sometimes disappears.
Warning. Temperature critical.
Okay, we need to pull back and cool off.
View scoop disengaged.
I just wanted to give it a thank you hug for saving my voyage and providing me with precious fuel.
View scooping.
Right, there we go. We're back on course now.
View scooping complete.
Just having another admiration of the... It's got little fans on it. Is that the fuel scoop, do you think? Because they were turning a moment ago. Right, got another theory to test now. How do I... There we go.
Frameshift drive charging.
Right, we can fuel up on this star. I'm going to test a theory. We'll switch to the external cameras and see whether or not the twirly bits twirl when we're close to a star.
4, 3,
Bask in my scientific terminology. Twirly bits. Hello, person with an overly long name. Right.
view
Okay,
scooping.
we're scooping. Let's... Yep. Right. We've learned something. Those, I think, are, in fact, the fuel scoops.
View scooping complete.
Or maybe not. Maybe they're Maybe they're the heat sinks. Actually, that would make quite a lot of sense, wouldn't it? I don't know what they are. They're twirly bits.
Frameshift drive charging.
Yeah. This is going to take at least another full day of travel. I am not going to live stream the whole journey. Hello, Cancer. How the devil are you? It's not a competition, King Richard. Although if it were, I think he would be winning. Let's have a look. What you mean? Live stream the whole 16-hour journey? I think not.
4, 3, 2, 1.
So what did everyone get for Christmas? We need something to talk about while we watch the stars go by. I've got to say, Star Trek seemed to make this this whole stellar cartography business sound far more exciting. They seem to think it was a wonderful way to pass the time, but it's frankly not. It's about as exciting as doing your taxes. You get the occasional flutter as you realise you're owed 30 quid back, but
4, 3,
other than that, it's paperwork.
1.
Power tools. I could have done with some. I really could have. We've been assembling furniture. Got a nice, nice new stand for the TV. And a nice new table, in fact. I think this is the first time I've actually had a table in this flat, so that was long overdue. Been making do with over. They're not really tables, they're more like glorified bed stands. Ooh, endless space. What's that one?
4, 3, 2.
Not heard of that. So what did I actually... Oh, good old 4X. Always fun.
Frameshift drive charging.
Right, we need to check our route. We are going to... Okay, there's apparently no fuel stars on our current route. So... Oh, we're in another bloody TLY cluster. There's an M-Class.
Frameshift drive charging.
Ooh. 36 lever, so what's that in euros?
4, 3,
Because from euros it's easy to convert to anything else. Got a small collection of models myself. I've been expanding my 40k collection, adding units specifically to wreck my friend's army with, as you do. less than €20 for a... That's not too bad, I suppose.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Another dead star. Please let this one be the fuel star.
Frameshift drive
Thank God.
charging.
I should really stop cutting it this close.
4, 3,
Oops.
2, 1.
Well, there we are. We've learned something new. Oh, excuse me. 2.2 lever to the pound. So, damn it, I can't scroll up on the chat without digging my phone out. So 36 lever. It's about 18 quid. Little under 18 quid. That's fairly reasonable for a scale model. That helpful little guide marker has gone again. I fear I may be crashing into a sun soon. Let's scan the system while we're here. Is that just a sidelong comment at the predicted quality of of the product? Okay, let's chart a new course. Are we between we are. We're between spiral arms again. Crap. Oh, okay. One of those style creations then. Oh dear. Yeah, I've had some limited experience with kits like that. It's not pleasant. Wonder if there are any other supermassive black holes out there. Look how... I can't get over how absurdly close together those stars are. You know, this has just given me a truly terrifying thought, but if we can battle the lag to get down to Sagittarius, that's 588.21, 587.65, so there's about half a light year between those two stars, which is nothing. And it's like that for probably 1,000 light years at least. These stars are so clustered together. Do you think Sagittarius A is basically pulling the entire galaxy into itself? Okay, that idea is actually a little bit chilling. The thought oh wow. Oh, look at that. Now that we're getting... Abort a second. Now that we're getting closer, look how pretty the Pyramid Nebula is. It looks like a And if we rotate it this way, the bottom bit kind of looks like some kind of baby seahorse. Maybe this way? Did anyone else see a seahorse? Or maybe a dragon? I'm going to have a look for it on the star map. Shouldn't be too hard to find a... Let's see. It was somewhere over here. Oh, there it is. Let's go through it. Let's see if we can chart a course into... Oh, that's pretty. That's an O-type star. There we go. It's a bit of a detour. We're only going about 1,000 light years off course. But I want to pay a visit to that nebula. I'm also thinking I might pay a visit to the fridge and see if there's any more drink, because even though it's a terrible idea, I do have a bit of thirst. Oh shit, that's a big gravity well. For me, this game is up there with Minecraft as like it's a proper sandbox. It's just go. This is how sandbox is meant to be. It's not meant to be a map full of mini quests and fucking Ubisoft comms towers. It's just supposed to be, here is the world. We're walking away now. It's your problem. So I think... Excellent M-Class star. I'm going to have to be quite careful with my routes because I still think we are between spiral arms. A couple more nebulas up there. They're quite pretty as well. Space seems awfully bright around here, actually. So one of the things I liked, I've gone the other way. I had a mission once which took me to the rim of the galaxy. That took a couple of hours, but it was quite cool just to see essentially the galaxy become empty. The Milky Way just became a bright speck in the rear view mirror. You just ran out of stars. It is kind of like this game did turn out to be everything I wanted No Man's Sky to be. I might give that game another look sometime, but oh, stale beer. Not good. 32 jumps away. Well, you're just going to have to grin and bear it. And possibly sleep as close as you physically can to the bathroom. Yeah, I'm a bit low on spirits on this end as well. We were gifted a bottle of tequila on New Year's Eve. Today, there's about a third of it left.
Fuel system complete.
Do you know what? I forget. You can probably pick it up for about 20 or 30 pounds now, including the. Depends on the platform you want it on. Let's have a look.
4, 3, 2,
I was going to search for you, but my phone is misbehaving. There we go. Apparently it's on sale.
frameshift drive.
So,
charging.
yep, apparently it's about $30 at the moment on Steam, which would translate into about
4, 3,
25 euros.
1.
Oh dear. Definitely sounds like you had a fun New Year.
Fuel skipping.
Now, I also have a suspicion that the nebula I'm heading is probably quite well charted. Because if you were going to go exploring the galaxy, aside from the center, the most obvious place I can think of is to pick a nebula.
Complete. Frameshift drive charging.
See, it's changing now. It's not so much a pyramid as a kite now. Oh, that's just unfortunate timing. That's never nice though, is it? That the moment you realise that you are not going to make it to your designated vomiting site.
Fuel skipping.
I've had fun with drunken relatives in the back of the car complaining, telling me to stop swerving when I'm driving in a straight line, and then just suddenly frantically yelling, "Pull over! Pull over!"
Drive charging.
Oops, overheating again.
Frameshift drive charging.
Oh, that's just nasty.
4, 3,
Oh, that's a mental image I could have done without. Thank you for that.
fuel skipping.
I think we're getting. Where's? I'm gonna have to pull away from the star so I can actually see the
Fuel skip disengaged.
nebula.
Frameshift drive charging.
Let's get away from the star so the rest of the galaxy's light can reach us. Getting there. Oh God. Yeah, I was just thinking that.
Frameshift drive charging.
Could that actually be the Horsehead Nebula we are heading towards?
4, 3, 2, 1.
I might have to ask the internet where the Horsehead Nebula is. But first, get out of the way of the star.
View skipping. Fuel scooping complete.
I think the most I've ever... What was the most I've ever fit in a car? Me... 2, 3, 4, 5... I think I fit 7 into a car, which was 2 in the front, 3 in the back, 2 in the boot.
Frameshift drive charging.
Which... I hasten to remind any police officers listening that the vehicle was stationary at the time. We were parked up, we certainly weren't driving. We just wanted to know how many we could fit.
4, 3, 2, 1. View skipping.
It's called Mexipacking.
Fuel skipping complete.
Is this how they cram people into the car in order to skip the border? What was I looking for? Oh yeah, I was going to try and work out whether that's the Horsehead Nebula, because or any of these planets will do. It's about 15,000 light years from Earth, but oh no, this definitely isn't the Horsehead Nebula. We are way too far out for that. Elephant's Trunk Nebula. The North American Nebula. Presumably because it looks like North America. This doesn't deserve a name, apparently. I think it does. Look, we could call it the... You know, the closer we get to this, the more I think it looks like a fetus. It's the Unborn Baby Nebula. Let's visit the unborn baby.
4, 3, 2, 1.
The Unborn Baby Dragon Nebula.
Fuel skipping.
Yes, teenagers do strange things. One of my favourites actually was
Complete.
being in a car where we decided we wanted to see if we could get everybody home
Frameshift
without
drive
actually
charging.
stopping the car. And there were 5 of us. So obviously the driver would have to stop the car to get out, but everybody else we wanted to try and see if we could get them out the car without actually stopping.
3,
So sort of like planning the route to avoid traffic lights and very carefully monitoring speed and that was actually really quite fun and probably illegal, but
fuel skipping.
we did slow down a lot when kicking people out of the car. It's not like we threw them onto the doorstep at 30 miles an hour.
Frameshift drive charging.
Yes, I have a sneaking suspicion King Richard will have excellent drunk stories to tell.
4, 3, 2,
Speaking of, I am going to treat myself to another drink. But for safety reasons, one cannot attend the fridge while travelling in witch space. Nothing quite that exciting. I think we were playing heavy metal as we slowed the car to about walking pace and then basically just opened the door and hopped out.
complete.
Right, I'm going to raid the fridge. Back in a moment. I found a can.
Frameshift drive charging.
It's a can of... Oh. Probably should have looked as to what I was grabbing. It's Kronenberg.
4,
Oh,
2,
there goes all my enthusiasm. Oh well. I guess I can force myself to drink it.
fuel scooping.
Possibly. I mean, but isn't that the point of being a teenager? You're supposed to do at least one incredibly stupid thing.
Frameshift drive charging.
I mean, for the most, aside from friends who didn't believe in stopping cars.
Frameshift
Whoops,
drive
didn't mean to do that.
charging.
I had a mostly sensible teenagehood. I didn't pick up any permanent injuries
4,
that I'm aware of.
2, 1.
Well, aside from a mild concussion once, but you know that doesn't count because I'm pretty sure I was strange before that head injury.
Fuel scooping.
Oh, I'm sure you must have done something.
Fuel scooping complete.
Who knows, it might even be something that you think is quite ordinary, but everybody else would think you're absolutely fucking balmy for doing. Okay, it's still sort of... It's not quite a pyramid, but it is sort of a...
4, 3,
I forget the word for it. Sort of like a pyramid where you've pushed the faces in a bit. Like a caltrop shape.
fuel scooping. Fuel scooping complete.
Brilliant.
Frameshift drive charging.
Who- Yeah, that's... I think the most fun thing I've done with a 4x4, actually two things. There was one when I was young, it was like... No, it wasn't the first, till like second time we bought a 4x4. We bought a 4x4. It was winter, it was cold as hell, loads of ice and snow, and my dad basically took me and my sister to an empty car park and just span the thing around. Just kept pulling power slides and putting it into spins. It was hilariously fun. The other quite fun thing I've done is hanging onto the side of one. Just like standing on the mud guards and clinging onto the roof rack.
4, 3, 2, 1.
That was mainly because we were driving down a the sort of road that's only a road because technically cars can use it. You know, it's clearly not made for motorised travel. And I just clung onto the side of the 4x4 because there were a lot of gates and it was quicker than climbing in and out. Another simple, stupid, but very, very fun thing to do.
Complete. Frameshift drive charging.
No,
4, 3, 2, 1.
what? You drove until... Well done. Congratulations for wrecking your 4x4. And yeah, I would not recommend anybody for a long stay in a hotel.
Fuel scooping.
Actually, over New Year, as I was at a friend's for the New Year's,
Complete.
and he had some family over, including teenagers,
Charging.
who complained that all the grown-ups were stood around in the kitchen comparing medical problems. And it's just like, yep, you will learn, boy.
3, 2,
Give it another decade or two and this will be your life. Well, how far off are we from this nebula now? We can't be far off, surely. I'm also liking the quality of stars.
fuel scooping complete.
There we go. We are 15 jumps from our destination, which will put us inside the nebula.
Frameshift drive charging.
I know I didn't bring a car, but we could still try and find a planet to land on inside the nebula and just kind of see what the night sky looks like.
4, 3, 2, 1.
So I kind of like that idea. Although I will have to be careful because the Carpathia has been lost before. There was an accident concerning a planet with a surprisingly high gravity. Normally when I take this thing on planetary expeditions, I take it onto small moons, usually about 0.1, 0.2 G. And I tried taking it onto a planet and didn't pay attention. It had like 1.2 G gravity, and the Carpathia fell from the sky like a fucking brick. We can try and find one with a canyon, certainly. I don't think... Actually, yeah, you probably can fly a canyon if you can find one that will fit the ship.
Frameshift drive charging.
We are getting close now. Look how much that nebula's grown. Yeah, fuck it. We'll fly into the nebula and we'll try and find a planet, a proper one.
4, 3, 2.
Reasons to land on a planet include if you have a buggy equipped, which I don't. I removed the vehicle hangar. But if you have a vehicle hangar, you can go mining on the planet's surface, or you can explore alien ruins. I found crashed spaceships before as well,
Fuel scooping.
which was interesting. And plus it is kind of fun just to drive around. Again, a lot of this game, it basically revolves around making your own fun.
Frameshift drive charging.
Right. I might have to... Oh, no. I think I'm okay. I really want to avoid doing things like overheating or falling into stars because I'm a long way from the nearest maintenance shop.
2, 1. Fuel scooping.
The problem with trucking simulators, though, is they seem to be insane in terms of their pricing. They are very expensive for what they are.
Frameshift drive charging.
It would almost work out cheaper. You know, you look at something like the DLC policies of these games, it would almost work out cheaper just to actually drive from London to Berlin rather than buying the game. Well, now we're all intrigued. You can't drop these breadcrumbs like that and then just not tell us what's going on.
Fuel scooping. Fuel scooping complete. Frameshift drive charging.
How are we doing? What? Right. We are very close to entering the nebula now. Right. An Eastern European with petrol, glass bottles and matches. I think I know where this story's going.
Fuel scooping. Fuel scooping complete.
I think it's fair to say that... Yeah. Well done. You burned down a vineyard.
Drive charging.
Well, the important question was the wine any good? Because if the wine sucked, then that's fine.
3, 2, 1.
Oh, good God. Right.
Fuel scooping.
Let's we are getting very close now. Is that... That can't be the same cluster of stars, surely. Hang on, let me just swing a bit closer and feel up properly.
Fuel scooping complete.
Right. No, it is. It is. that formation of stars is starting to look very different. You know, a quick look at the galaxy map. Can we... I'm trying to work out what stars they are, because I'd quite like to land on one of them. Maybe we are. Okay.
Frameshift drive charging.
If I'm right, I think we are actually going to land on one of the Christmas tree stars. Ooh. I'll tell you what, we will we'll have a good look around the star system as well. We'll see if we can catalogue it and claim the discovery as our own. Because we found at least one new star system on this stream alone.
Fuel scooping complete. Frameshift drive charging.
Admittedly, it was a fairly brief investigation. We didn't exactly chart any planets, but we've catalogued new stars. It's kind of deforming a bit, don't you think? It's not really got the Christmas tree look anymore. Hmm.
Fuel scooping.
Oh, it's kind of sad. We've lost our point of reference.
Complete.
How far? 6 jumps. Right. Well, we're not in the nebula yet. We're definitely still outside it because I can clearly see the outline of it. So now that we're closer. Oh, hang on. Now that we're closer, that's like there. See that? There's Godzilla and what's that? I'm not sure what that is. It's some kind of weird. But that definitely looks like Godzilla now, doesn't it?
Frameshift drive charging.
Trying to pick out shapes from a random cloud of gas. Is that a smaller nebula in the top left?
4, 3, 2, 1.
You threw a lemon in a crumbling... Did you make lemon grenades? Okay, where's our... Was I scooping fuel there? I wasn't paying attention. I was distracted by trying to look at the nebula. We're not there yet.
Frameshift drive charging.
I'm going to have a quick look at the galaxy map. Because we are going to need a fuel star. Yeah, okay, cool. There's a fuel star on the way. We're about to enter the nebula. New Year's resolutions. I think. Yeah. I'm not making that one because I will break it within the first 15 minutes of starting whatever video project comes next. I think my New Year's resolution is going to be to actually finish a 40k army, because I'm not very good at painting my miniatures. I probably should. I do have a list of content I want to get around to making. It's just frustrating that it can take pretty much all day to make a 15-20 minute video. I think, well, I suppose by finish I mean you actually build and paint everything you've bought. Because I tend to buy things, build them, start painting them, get distracted, buy more things, build them, and so on and so forth. Now it looks a bit like a demonic butterfly to me. Apparently the system doesn't work. Okay, good. Here we go. Right. Fuel up. How far off are we? 2 jumps. Now, are we actually in the nebula yet? I don't think we are. I think we're still actually technically outside it. We are. I don't even know if my target destination's inside the nebula. Let's have a look. No, I don't know. I don't know if that's actually in the nebula. Screw it. That looks like about as far into the nebula as we can actually get, and then we're going to have to double back and leave. This is a very attractive part of space, though. I'm liking it.
4, 3, 2,
1. There seems, who knows, maybe there was actually a system. Maybe these stars are already really named. What was the one? Was it Trappist? The one with the bunch of Earth-like planets? After the Trappist system was discovered, the developers actually changed the Trappist system in-game to match what the scientists had actually seen, which I think is quite cool. So they will, as our real knowledge of the universe expands, they will actually update the game to match it. So this might well be the most accurate model of the universe anyone has ever created.
Fuel sequence complete. Frameshift drive charging.
Okay, we're going to jump to this system. Am I overheating? No, I'm going to get away with it.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay, this has been quite a big diversion, but hopefully it'll be worth it. I'm going to be really upset if someone's already been here. Right, let's break. Scan the system.
Fuel scooping.
Excellent, we have planets. Good start. Scan the sun.
Complete.
Right. So well, let's not point towards the sun, because we're just gently falling into it. Let's find a suitable planet for an adventure. Oh! Wonderful. This system has already been discovered. Boo! I'm upset. And looks like they've mapped everything. Whoops. Oh well, somebody beat us to it. But that doesn't mean we can't have a little planetary adventure. So we're going to attempt a landing on this planet. It's actually quite dark in the nebula, isn't it? Yeah, I'm guessing the best views would actually come from outside the nebula rather than inside it. Oh, shit, I've overshot. Not paying attention, sorry. Right, I'm a little bit rusty when it comes to landing on planets, so here's hoping it doesn't end in disaster. There we go. That would be a fun idea. I kind of like... I would love to see something like that happen, to be honest. Right, let's see. Let's turn the running lights on. Right, I'm not seeing any trench networks, I'm afraid. Got craters. Will that do? Park ourselves in a massive crater.
Orbital flight engaged.
There we go, we've entered atmosphere. Look at these, they've got these like giant inverted nipples. Let's go for one. I'm intrigued. I really wish I brought my lander now, so I can actually have a proper explore. We'll just have to make do with landing near it. It looks like a mountain in the middle of a crater, which is odd. And we are officially in atmosphere. That's a hell of a view. I approve. See if we can spot anything interesting on the planet. Gravity's 1.4 G. Okay, so we've picked a planet where landing will be a little bit tricky. But I'm reasonably confident I can put her down in the shadow of this mountain. The ships are not that big, to be honest. They're probably a couple of 100 meters at most. Earth is 1G. Right, so we're just going to plummet down. That's a huge mountain. Okay, so for reference, right, we are dead level at about 5 kilometers from the surface, and this mountain is huge. That's kind of cool. I don't think I've ever seen a mountain range this big before. Certainly not in a crater like this. This is very cool. A 5 kilometer high mountain in the middle of a 5 kilometer deep crater. Okay, I need to... Shit. I'm falling too fast. Fire thrusters! Apparently so. Apparently also there's no suitable landing sites on this planet. This is all rough terrain below us, apparently. Which is disappointing. I really did want to touch down. What the hell is all this? There's loads of random shit down there. God damn it, we found... Ah, no, up. Yeah, okay, wait, there is terrain. Alignment, okay. Let's try not to destroy the Carpathia. We can't explore in a buggy, but we can explore with the camera, so... 20 meters, 10, and we are down. Right, free camera. Okay, it's just rock formations. They looked a lot bigger from the air. However, I know somebody else has already discovered this system, but it is entirely possible that we're the first people ever to land on this planet. Which, I know No Man's Sky kind of has the same possibility, but That's because it's procedurally generated nonsense. This is a shared universe. So we could actually be the first... Oh, hang on. I've lost the camera. There we are. And look. This is the night sky on this planet. Look how bright it is. I think this is awesome. I think this is well worth the trip. And this, I'm having some sort of image of this as my desktop background, I think. Hang on, let's turn the lights off. There we go. I think this is where I'm going to put a hold on this adventure for the time being. I will definitely have to. Oh, we can zoom in and out as well. Excellent. I'm honestly amazed. Last time I tried landing on a planet like this, I crashed. So we had a few close calls, but still. So here we are. We have been sidetracked from our... Ooh, there's a bit of a bubble effect. I don't think I like that. There we go. Okay. I'm rambling now. Pretty picture with a pretty skybox. This is where I'm going to leave it. So who knows, maybe next time I stream Elite, we will actually be a little bit closer to our destination. I've had fun getting here. I'm not sure why, but I have. Stabby Brit signing out.